Hey guys, William Mayette, creator of JAZZEDGE. Welcome to Jazz Piano Daily. This is number 7 jazz piano bass lines in 5 minutes. So if you like these videos, be sure to subscribe to the channel and like the video and turn on notifications. Jazz Piano Daily are quick, no BS jazz piano lessons coming to you every single day, absolutely free of charge. All right, so jazz piano bass lines in 5 minutes. All right, first of all, let's start with, I'm just going to start by playing this first of all, so you can hear it. All right, so you can hear it sounds really nice if I comp the chords in the right hand. All right, so sounds really good. Let's talk about some rules here, because I got 5 minutes here to cover this, so I got to get at least the first part of it done in 5 minutes. All right, so number 1, hit the root of the chord on each new chord change. So you notice that every time I am playing, every time I have a new chord change here, right, what do you notice is going on in the left hand? I am hitting the root of that chord in the left hand. E flat, B flat, E flat, A flat. All right, so I'm hitting the root of the chord on each new chord change. Rule number 2, use chord tones, right? So chord tones are always going to sound good. Number 3, keep consistent quarter notes, all right? So to start, just use quarter notes. You don't have to use eighth notes, triplets, nothing like that, just quarter notes. Number 4, use approaches before the next chord root. So you see I kind of did that right here, right? So before moving on to B flat, I did an approach. An approach is typically a half step above or below the next note. So I have to look forward here to this note, right? So I got to kind of put my glasses on here and I got to look forward and say, oh, okay, I'm going to a B flat here. So this note right here, that approach is going to either be a half step above the B flat or a half step below the B flat. In this case, it's a B natural, so it's a half step above and then it resolves down to the B flat. I could have also done this, right? I could have gone underneath and then hit that B flat. Now, on the rest of these, you'll notice that I'm doing what? So this is root, fifth, root, approach. Please learn that pattern, okay? If you want to play jazz bass lines, that pattern is super helpful, right? So anytime you have a chord that's going for an entire measure like this, root, 5, root, and then approach to the next chord. Now let's say I'm just going to stay on E flat. I could just keep going root, 5, root. Now, I realize full well that that's not the most exciting thing in the world to play, but it's a great start. As you get better, you'll learn more. All right, so now we have this root 5 root approach. Then when we have 2 chords per measure, as we do here, right, so 1, 2 chords in 1 measure. Now what I could do is I could play the root, and this could easily be an approach, but instead I just did a chord tone. I did the third. And this could be a root and an approach. And in this case, I did a third. Now, the reality is this third right here, that G, is really a half step below the A flat. So I could also call that an approach as well, right? So now here in the B flat, I'm hitting the root before I get to this next chord tone, right? Because remember, before I get to the next chord, right, I could do an approach here. So I could go half step above that E flat and go down to E flat then. I could do that, or I could do... Now typically I'm probably not going to want to go to D natural because it's a B flat minor 7 chord, right? So instead I did root, B flat, which happens to be the third of the chord, then I go to the root of E flat, then I do that half step approach right here, moving up to the A flat. And what do we have again? Root, 5, root, 5. Right? And then we go to A flat minor as the next chord, so that'd be root 5. All right, so let's play the entire bass line. In the right hand, what are we doing? Rootless chord voicings, right? So you see how we're using these rootless chord voicings that we've learned about the past couple of days. Now we're utilizing them in the right hand. So let's do this nice and slow. Second finger, middle finger, second thumb, pinky, fourth finger, second thumb, second. Let's do it again. All right, so I'm at my 5-minute mark. You should now know exactly what you need to do for playing bass lines. This is probably the most important one right here, number 5. And by the way, rules is in quotes because obviously as you learn more, you'll realize how you could break these rules. And they're not necessarily rules to begin with, but it's just good guidelines to follow. So never stop playing, all right? Do not stop playing, all right? So what you don't want to do is this. Right? It has to stay consistent because if you're not playing it consistent, then the bass line is going to all fall apart. For jazz rhythm, you want that nice, consistent, steady bass line. So I would start by doing the bass line by itself first, get that nice and down. With the right hand. Again. Now, before I was comping in the right hand, don't worry, we are going to be talking about comping, all right? So we will be talking about comping in lesson number 12. So if you are interested in that, check out lesson 12 when it comes out, and you can learn more about comping of the rhythm. All right, so that's it for today. Just doing that bass line with these rootless chords in the right hand. Now, if you want the sheet music resources that go along with this lesson, just go back to Jazz Piano Daily. All you're going to do is put in your name and email address. Free account will be created for you, get emailed to you. No cost, no commitment, nothing to cancel, absolutely free of charge for you to be able to download all of that music. If you like what you see here, please do me a favor, subscribe to the channel, like the video, and be sure to turn on the notifications so that you know when I come out with a new lesson. And of course, if you have any comments or questions, please feel free to leave them in the comment section below. All right, that's it for me. Thanks guys for joining me. I'll see you in the next Jazz Piano Daily lesson.